Hello, this is Gary from VR Roundtable, and this is a very brief tour of my VR space here in my home office. Now my home office, it's really like a converted garage at the bottom of my garden, and it sort of doubles up as, I guess, kind of like my man cave area, where I've got all the bits and bobs that are mine, some retro gaming stuff and things like that, and obviously all my VR and tech equipment is in here as well. So yeah, that's really what it is, and everything, as a result of that, everything is sort of a little bit rough around the edges. I've got things in here that have just sort of been cobbled together with bits of wood I've had lying around in order to make a bespoke piece of furniture in order to accommodate some retro computer or something like that. So you'll see that in this video. The advantage of that is that I'm not too bothered about aesthetics or anything. So you'll see some cables which are just sort of running around the edge of the room, because, you know, with it being just sort of this area away from the house, we're not too bothered about aesthetics in here, and things are constantly being moved. Things like sensors for the VR equipment, and also just the way I've got my guitar set up on the wall. I like to have the freedom just to move things around on a whim, really. So it doesn't matter if I'm drilling holes into the wall and then sort of filling them or anything like that. So that's the kind of setup I've got over here. But yeah, you'll see the specs of my computer and some other information that I omitted from this following video in the description below, so you can check that out. But yeah, hope you enjoy this video, and it's just a quick tour of how I've got my VR setup. Okay, so here we are. This is the main area in my office where my PC is. So I've got 3 monitors on there, which are 24 inches each, and they're sort of bog standard. They're just 1080p standard monitors. I've got a couple of them second hand to keep the costs down, but they do the job. They're fine, really. Then over the other side, we've got the Vive hanging up on the wall and the 2 controllers next to it. Also a bit of acoustic foam just to keep the echoing down in this room. It was a little bit too much, so I thought I'd add that onto the wall. It helps. Then next to that is the Oculus Rift. I don't usually keep that hanging up on that hook. It's just there if I want to keep the cable out of the way for whatever reason. It's usually on my desk. And then we've got the lighthouse sensor in one corner of the room. It's drilled into the wall. Excellent tracking from that corner. And then next to that is one of my Rift sensors upside down on the ceiling. With it's attached with Velcro, but I've also added quite strong glue on there as well. I'm confident it won't sort of drop off or anything like that. It's not yet anyway, so. And then over on the other side is the other Oculus sensor. Again, fitted to the ceiling exactly the same way. But yeah, it gives great coverage having them placed on the ceiling and pointing down. That's the place where I usually keep my Rift. It's just on the desk next to me when I'm working, so I can sort of jump in and out of VR all the time. The touch controller's there on the other side. And this is the opposite corner of the room. So this is the other lighthouse sensor mounted in the corner, and the Rift sensor below that with just a sort of cobbled together custom mount for it, which keeps it sturdy. It doesn't move at all, so that's good to have. 3 sensors really helps. And here is the PC. So this is a GTX 1080 Ti with a i7 6700K, 16 gigabytes of RAM. So yeah, just a basic case. It's got reasonable cooling, but yeah, that's it does the job anyway. And underneath the desk, I don't know if you caught a glimpse of it there, but I've got my racing wheel again, cobbled together. Custom little thing I built out of a spare piece of wood I had lying around. It's just to keep my steering wheel out of the way, and then it's on a hinge, so I can just sort of swing it round, fix it in place, and then I can play some racing games. Just having it set up in this way, it means that I find it easy to jump in and out of racing games rather than having the wheel tucked away in the cupboard. It means that I use it far more than I otherwise would. And then above the desk on a shelf is the Hotas stick that I've got. It's just a basic Thrustmaster X Hotas, quite cheap, and I only really use it for Elite Dangerous. And here are the guitars. I wanted to mention these because they have a lot of reflective surfaces on there, and the Vive, the lighthouses, really don't like reflective surfaces. So I've mounted a sort of a roller blind above there, and then I lower that whenever I'm playing VR with the Vive, and it gives me flawless tracking then. Otherwise I do get a little bit of jittering, and there's one over the other side. So that's pretty much it. That's just a brief rundown of my playspace for VR. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show you this time. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to do on this video. This is the first one that I've done of this type, but as I get new headsets, update my VR equipment and things like that, I'll probably do updated videos on this type and post them on our channel VR Roundtable. And as always, you can subscribe to our channel and get our weekly podcast on iTunes as well. So make sure you check that out. But thanks for watching this, and I'll see you next time.